Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news. Well, guys, if you've been paying close attention to the NFL rumors flying around lately, you know that the Seahawks are once again in the thick of some intriguing trade talks, and this time it involves a pretty big name in the defensive backfield. Word is, Seattle is actively exploring a deal to bring in J.C. Horn from the Carolina Panthers, and let me tell you, this potential move could seriously shake up the NFC West and our quest for Super Bowl glory. It's not every day you see a player like Horn available, especially considering what he could bring to our young and talented secondary. Now, the buzz is that the Seahawks are looking at offering a first-round pick in the 2026 draft, along with a fourth-round pick in 2027, to secure Horn's services. This kind of package signals how seriously Seattle is about bolstering its cornerback core, especially after some inconsistent coverage from Tariq Woolen in 2025. Woolen, as you all know, has been a bright spot for us since his rookie season, but last year's struggles showed that we need more athleticism and consistency at that position if we want to take that next step. Horn, with his athletic profile and ball skills, could be exactly what we need, a true playmaker who can reduce yards after catch and lock down top receivers. Let's dig into Horn's stats and why he's such an attractive target. In 2025, over 15 games, he compiled 4 interceptions and 13 pass breakups. His coverage allowed just 43% completion rate, and he earned a stellar PFF grade of 99. That's elite stuff right there. When you look at EPA per target, he's at 37, which means he's not just covering well but actively disrupting the passing game. His man coverage win rate is 77%, and he's given up only 2 touchdowns in his career so far. That's the kind of consistency and playmaking ability we desperately need to elevate our secondary. Of course, Horn's career hasn't been without hurdles. Injuries have hampered his development at times. In 2025, he dealt with a hamstring injury that sidelined him for 2 games, but when healthy, he's been a difference maker. His previous seasons show a steady climb, with 9 interceptions and 38 pass breakups in total. The Panthers used him as a key piece in their rebuilding effort, but their struggles, finishing 5-12 in 2025 and having the 29th ranked defense allowing nearly 28 points per game, highlight that their secondary needs a serious upgrade. They're also facing a cap crunch, with a negative cap space of around $16 million in 2026, which makes Horn's $16 million cap hit a tough pill to swallow amidst their rebuild. The Seahawks, on the other hand, have around $18 million in cap space, giving them flexibility to absorb Horn's contract without too much trouble. And this move makes perfect sense for us, considering our defensive trajectory. Our pass defense in 2025 was average at best, allowing 222 yards per game, which ranked 19th in the league. That's a number we absolutely want to improve, especially when facing high-powered offenses in the NFC West like the 49ers and Rams. Adding a corner like Horn, who can reduce yards after catch and make plays on the ball, could push us into the top 10 pass defenses in the league, which is crucial if we're aiming for a deep playoff run. The impact of this trade, if it happens, would be huge. Just look at what happened with Jalen Ramsey joining the Dolphins. Suddenly Miami's pass defense looked much more formidable, and their secondary became a real threat. With Horn paired with Witherspoon, we'd have a dynamic duo that can lock down elite receivers and force turnovers in big moments. Their combined coverage EPA is around 43, which is outstanding and would help us turn games around with splash plays. This secondary upgrade could be the difference maker in close playoff games, especially considering how crucial turnovers and solid coverage are in those high-pressure situations. Comparing Horn to Woolen, the numbers tell a compelling story. Horn has a +1.7 grade advantage on PFF with a lower EPA per target at 26 and 8 pass breakups. Woolen, of course, is a rising star and one of our cornerstones, but adding Horn would give us that veteran-like presence, athleticism, and versatility to match up against the best receivers in the league. It's a move that could elevate our entire defense, making us more aggressive and adaptable on all downs. Remember, in the playoffs, matchups against the top-tier WRs are critical, and having Horn as an X-factor against those elite pass catchers could be what gets us closer to that elusive Super Bowl. Now, looking ahead, the betting odds for the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl are already climbing. They started at plus 3,000 earlier this season and are now somewhere around plus 1,100, reflecting the confidence in our roster's potential. Horn's addition would be a big part of that confidence boost, especially since he's viewed as a key piece to our defensive puzzle. His ability to disrupt the passing game and help us contain the league's best receivers would make us a more feared team in January. And let's not forget, the NFC West is tough. San Francisco is still a powerhouse with their defense and offense, and the Rams are always dangerous when they're healthy. But with Horn, Woolen, Witherspoon, and our pass rush, we're setting ourselves up for a serious challenge to take the division and make a deep playoff push. The Panthers' perspective is understandable. They're in rebuild mode, and a 5-12 record isn't what they envisioned. Their defense was leaky all year, ranked 29th, and they're looking to gather draft capital to rebuild around their young quarterback, Bryce Young. Trading Horn, who's still a top-tier talent despite some injury setbacks, makes sense for them financially and strategically. But for us, this could be a steal, a chance to add a player who can anchor our secondary for years to come, especially with his age, just 26 and upside. It's a move that could define our defense's identity, much like the Sherman Cam era did, setting a tone for years to come. And remember, the Seahawks have been building a defense that's capable of competing with the best. We've got a solid front with our pass rushers, and now, with Horn potentially joining us, our secondary could become a nightmare for offenses. We're talking about a unit that could reduce our opponent's passing yards by 17%, increase interceptions by 13%, and make quarterbacks think twice before throwing in our direction. This kind of upgrade is exactly what we need to make a real run in the playoffs, to push us closer to that Super Bowl stage where we all want to see our Seahawks shine. So fans, what do you think? Are you excited about the possibility of J.C. Horn donning the Seahawks jersey? Do you see him as the missing piece that can take our defense from solid to elite? The potential is definitely there, and if this deal goes through, it could be a game changer for sure. We're on the edge of something special, and I, for one, can't wait to see how this story unfolds. The Seahawks are always about making bold moves, and this could be one of those pivotal moments that define the season. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, the impact of adding Horn would be felt across the entire defense. Our secondary could become a top 10 unit, drastically improving our pass defense efficiency. The Seahawks coaching staff has been emphasizing aggressive, versatile coverage schemes, and Horn's skill set fits perfectly into that philosophy. His ability to reduce yards after catch, make plays on the ball, and lock down top receivers would make us much more unpredictable and dangerous on third down and in critical moments. That's exactly what playoff teams need. Players who can come up big when it matters most. And let's not forget, the Seahawks are also a team that's been quietly building a culture of resilience and high-level competition. The addition of Horn wouldn't just be about immediate impact. It's about setting a foundation for sustained success. With his leadership qualities and talent, he could become a cornerstone of our secondary, much like how Earl Thomas was during the Sherman era. We're talking about a player who, if he stays healthy, could be a difference maker for the next several seasons. In terms of team chemistry, Horn's personality and work ethic would fit in well with our locker room. Pete Carroll always emphasizes character, effort, and football IQ, and Horn's track record suggests he embodies those qualities. Plus, being part of a talented secondary alongside Witherspoon and Woolen would give us one of the most exciting and disruptive units in the league. Opposing quarterbacks would think twice before throwing in our direction, knowing they're risking turnovers and big plays. Looking back at the broader picture, this potential trade aligns perfectly with our long-term vision. The Seahawks have been patient and smart in their roster building, and making bold moves like this signals that we're not content with just competing. We want to contend and bring that Lombardi trophy back to Seattle. Our fan base is hungry for success, and with this kind of upgrade, we're setting ourselves up for a serious playoff push. The NFC is wide open, but the team that can lock down elite passing attacks and force turnovers will have a huge advantage. Horn could be the X factor that puts us over the top. And finally, fans, I want you to imagine the possibilities. A secondary with Woolen and Horn locking down receivers, Witherspoon playing his guts out, and our pass rushers bringing the heat. This is a recipe for a dominant defense. We could be looking at a team that's not only playoff-bound, but capable of making noise deep into January and February. The road to the Super Bowl isn't easy, but with a move like this, Seattle is signaling that they're willing to do whatever it takes to get there. The energy, the passion, the relentless pursuit of greatness, that's what being a Seahawks fan is all about. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seattle Seahawks. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seattle Seahawks news. We're in for an exciting ride, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for our team. Keep the faith, and let's continue to support our Seahawks every step of the way.